Welcome G. Let's start. Today I'm going to talk on Stream API, how reduce function work on Stream API. And reduce is one terminal operation. So we have to discuss how reduce function work, and also we have to think how many parameters this reduce function will take, and how we can take some examples so that you can feel how you are going to use the reduce function. So each and every parameters that required for this reduce function we will take example, and I'll try to explain you. So let us explore the reduce function of any stream API. I'm just jumping to my code base. Yes. So let us first we have let's say a list of numbers. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a list of number. Okay. Now we have a let's say number. So let us if you run like numbers dot stream and dot for each. Okay. So whatever input you are getting, just system dot out dot print, and you just element comma. So if you run this, you will notice we have to stream process each element one by one. Okay, so here we want to reduce, means ki reduce means just want to taking all the even number or odd number. Yeah, just want to sum. I want to sum of all the elements. So I'll do. So let's, before going to use the reduce function, let someone ask, can you find the sum of this list of integer? So I'll write a code. So in generally you write like first you take one uh, result variable, yeah, sum variable, sum, and you can just check initial value sum equal to 0, and then we have to just loop for till your numbers dot size, and here we have to do whatever the sum equal to sum and plus your numbers dot get your I position. Okay, and just s out sum. So this is the way you write the code for sum all the list of number, and it will works fine. It will works fine. Okay, you will just get the sum. That works fine. We have not any problem. So same thing we want to work in a stream API. So how we can get sum on a stream? Be carefully if you notice what the logic you have written here. We have written this is the one binary operator. This is the binary operator will take one sum value and another one element and one element. So if you think this binary operator is the main for summing, so you can write in this way. So you can, let's see, this is the binary operator of integer, and let us like sum function which will take a two input parameter a comma b, and just provide a plus b, and the same code you can write again You can just comment out here. Just let's the same code again, and you can use the functional approach instead of manually. You can use the sum function, and you can use the sum function and dot apply. You pass sum and you pass the number. So in this way, sum okay, sum will take your two input. So here your apply function take two input, one your sum, one is the number. So now in this way, using the functional approach, now we are using the binary function that responsible to taking two number and doing sum, and we are getting the same value. So here what happened, if this is the function, this function is depend upon this function. If let's here say multiplication, and it will works for multiplication. Okay, so this code is working, but you notice initially sum is the 0, so 0 multiplied all the value are getting 0. So here you have to initial value should be like 1, so that you can get the multiplication of it. So this code is now depend upon this function. Okay, so how this same concept are used by the reduce function. Instead of you writing manually loop and doing plus, so stream say we have a numbers of streams, and you can just use the reduce function. Here same function you just pass here. Now it's just pass here same function, and it will works. And if you notice, so is Java stream offer you to do some kind of internal loops and sum your number. Now you are getting the sum of your number, but you notice the output is the optional, might be case. So how will get the value? So instead of this you can say dot get or else 0. If nothing, then we return, you can get the value. So reduce is the one function they are doing whatever doing in a manually you are iterating one by one and applying the sum. Similarly works you can do reduce. So let us think here how reduce works. Okay, what is the input A and what is the input B? So if you here 45 you are getting, so what is the A and what is the B? What is the value of A and what is the B? Initially here it decided initially sum is the 0, and you can just adding one number. This is the one way. So here if you want to look the code, is just you write here like here just write a lambda and just take a result sum, and you can return s, and just like here s out. Okay, yes, and you can say a equal to plus a plus b equal to plus b. Okay, what is the a value, and then what is the v value, and what is sum. And you whenever you run this code, and you notice how this reduce function will take two input parameter and return the value. Now you run it. So you notice reduce will start A1 and B2. So whatever our number, we started from 1 and 2. Just sum is equal to 3. Now the next time this sum become A. and now input is equal 3. Now next time s becomes 6, so 6 become a. So this is the your partially sum always become a. So here you can say s, here the sum, and b is your input element. So here you can say this is the sum and this is your element. Okay, but sum is variable already defined, just take a total. Okay, total, here your total, and this is your element. So this is your a total, this is your total, and this is the your element. So it's clear what the meaning of a and element. And if you run, so by default reduce start total with the first element, total with the first element, total with the first element, and getting element 2, and just sum it getting a 3. Okay, yes, is sum it. So in this way reduce function will take two input argument, first your first number, first number, and second number, then add and sum become a 3. Next time total become a 3 and element is the 3 sum. Next time again total become your 6 and the next element is a 4. So now these are the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 elements you are adding, but adding total become a this. So in this way you are getting 45. So you can write this way or simply just comment out code or simply say one liner here again. So just like this equal to your total plus some element. Okay, so just you comment it out here, so you're not getting any result, and this way. So first Stream API offer reduce function to reduce perform like a sum here. So first element your first, and this is second element. You are getting the optional and optional. So the reduce function always look like in this case here you say ki our initial value is a 6 0, and in this 0 you can add element 1 2 3 4 5. Similar kind of work I want to with the reduce operation. So for that Java offer reduce overloaded method. So instead of this they numbers dot stream and dot reduce, it will say initial number I want to 0, and then after I want to perform the total and your element, and just I want to total plus element, and you get the reduce 2. So in this way whenever you pass initial identity number, this is the initial number, and after that you can add one element and one element, and you are getting the complete result, not the optional. So reduce is the overloaded one reduce function, take only your binary one function. That function is a we have defined like a binary operator. This will take two input and return one output. But here say reduce function is a take two argument, one your initial value and second your binary operator. This is known as a accumulator. If you run it, you will notice you are getting the complete reduce to the complete number, integer number, not the optional. So you are getting reduce to is the complete value. Okay. Similarly, here you want you can check what is the your instead of this, you can write here like a lambda expression. You can just print here, just say return. Here you can just print out s out all the value total plus your element plus element plus sum total plus element which you are returning. And if you run here, in this case, whatever the initial value give, initial value would be your total. So here you notice your initial value is a 0 and your first element add get a sum, then second element get and add a sum, third element, fourth element, fifth element, whatever the sum, whatever the whatever the sum you have, this will a total. Whatever the sum, next time it will be your total. Whatever the sum, next time it will be your total. So this is the total contain your partial result. This total, this total. So whenever you are getting a 9 element, so your total is a 36 and 36 plus 9 is 45. So in this way, you can say sometime let's see I want to pass some initial number total plus element. So let's initial I pass I want to 100. So initial value 100 and 100 plus you are getting all the value. So this is the one overloaded method of reduce where you can pass any initial value. After that each element will be going to the add and you are getting the sum. So this reduce function will take one identity value or initial value and after that they are performing a reduce. In this way you can get, so instead of log you can simply write this way, best way total plus your element and you get the reduce and you are getting the value. So we have take two flavor of reduce. One will take only total element and again here all the value you are getting. A second is just pass any identity and whatever the function you want. So this is your reduce function. But reduce function is also one overloaded function. What is in those cases? So in the scenario when you run your stream in a multi-threaded environment. Okay, so now what happened currently happen, let's number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what happened, whatever the initial value I am giving initial value 0, so initial value 0 and plus your 1. Whatever the result here, result come, this result plus your again next element 2, then you are getting a result plus we are getting next number 3. Okay, this is your complete. Then next number 4, whatever the result, next number plus 5. In this way we are getting plus result, then result, then result. So in the case of single threaded application it will work fine, but Java support stream support you can run this in a parallel. Might be this two done by one thread or this two done by another threads. So it is possibility that let us we have a list of number like 2, 4, 6 and let's 7. So possibility this 2 is added by the thread 1 let's say 6, and this 2 added by the another thread 13. So this 2 result we have to again merge and find the result. So in this scenario we have to use reduce with the another overloaded method. So you can say like this way. So numbers dot stream, okay, let's parallel stream, and then want to reduce. In those scenario you have to let's initial value your 0, and next this will take a 3 input argument, this and this. Okay, so first your identity, and second again your total, and your element, which element you want to element, and just you want to total plus your element, and here just combining total 1 with a total 2, and just you want to sum like a total 1 plus total 2, and this is your reduce 4 as out. So in this way you have to option this. In the case of parallel stream you have to add your binary function for each individual threads, and this total, this is the accumulator, this is the combiner, just combining the results of all others and you get the output. So in this case we are getting the same output, okay, but depend upon the number of so let us here write kind of some output. So let us just write like here, so you just return, and here just output as out, like in this case. Okay, here similarly you can write here just this, and just and return your this, and you can write here to just check when this is your accumulator, and if you look this API have a 3 parameter identity, accumulator and combiner. So this is the accumulator and this is the combiner, and you run it, and then you check reduce function work for multiple. Okay, you have to change total 1, total 1, total 2, total 2, and just sum total 1 and total 2. Let us also read which threads they are doing. Plus thread dot current thread name. Okay, so you notice that this plus thread dot current thread name, and you not run it, and you figure. Let's look the result. So here the notice is that whenever we start, first accumulator started with a 0 element, so you notice that this is the for here, this is the different work thread started. You are started parallel stream. This is the year element 6, 9, 1, 7, 8, this. So this is your okay. So this your element, and this is the your main thread, and this is your worker thread 7, 6, 2, 3, 2, and 5. So these are the different accumulator started. Have own sum. Initial all have a total 0, but independent elements they are get. And after that, combiners are invoked. But this is the element still. This is the more accumulator element 3 and 4. So these are the worker thread 1 and worker thread 5. So all the elements parallelly started with a total 0. But each thread have own sum. So now your combiner, your for similarly the combiner will invoke for that. So let's just I leave the small data set. So let us in the case of here. Okay, small data set, so we can get the exact output. We have only 1 2 3 4 numbers, so 4. So here, so element number 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, so these 4 accumulators, 4 different threads are started to each element, and each element, each thread have own sum 3 2 1 they sum. So now a combiner is just start. Combiner 1 plus 4 and 3 plus 4, 3 plus 8. In this way you can stick combiner work and reduce the output. So in this case of multi-threading, you have to also offer the in the case of parallel stream, you have to say कि when all the threads have a result, then how will combine. So this is the combiner, and this is your actual operations, and this is your identity function. So reduce function have options. This can be in the case of parallel stream. You have to ensure you are passing the each independent threads combiner, and this is for each threads what they are going to do. They are going to do binary operation. So this reduce function will take one your identity function, another your accumulator, that is the your binary function, and last one your combiner, just combining the results of all threads. So this will okay, there is no any problem. But this reduce function you can use different way. So in this case reduce we are just want to the sum. But let's in our scenario just we want to get all the even number. So let us we again just take all element, and from this we want to let us here we have a numbers and dot stream, and just I want to filter and just want to filter, and whatever the element we are getting, element modulo 2 equal to 0, and now I want to reduce, but reduce I don't want to sum, I want to return all the elements, or let's key want to maybe map, and whatever element you are get multiply by 2. But here in reduction, I want to return all those numbers, not I want to sum. Even I don't want to multiply. So how our reduce function can return, let's see, I want to return the list. I want to return the set. I want to return the map. How you could write code that your map reduce function not return one value. Here reduce function return only one integer value. I want reduce function must return list, array list. So this way again, if you notice that this function will works. Your this identity function, your what the value you want to initial value. Initial value say integer sum means you want to result like a sum. But here say we want to not going to the plus. I want to just a list add in a list. So similar same kind syntax, same method you can use to returning the list as well as. So here you can say that is we have again, right, first and the second, two parameter. Okay, so in first parameter say I want to return a new array list and of integer. This is the first parameter. Okay, and the second parameter you say you are getting the two element, your initial, your element A and element B. You are getting two element, and what you are trying to do. So I want to store in the list. So I want to store in the list. So here just return till now A, and here you are getting the combiner. In the third parameter you are getting the combiner. So here you are getting the maybe two parameter, maybe your list A comma list B, and you say just return list A. So here in this way, so you are getting the array list. Whatever the initial value we pass, this will just initially, here we pass 0, the total become a 0. Similarly, here initially you pass the array list, the first parameter become a array list. So here you can say array list dot add and next element. So here you can say this is the your list of, and this is your this is your list, and we are just, this is the element, this is your element, and you are returning the list. Okay, so in this way, here look like here your first initial 0 become a total value, and then next element. Similarly, here we pass the new array list. So first parameter your list of integer, and second is the element. Here I want to just add in the list, and similarly here your total. What is the return type of this? For each thread they return the element you are just totaling. Similarly, the each threads return the list. So you have list A, list B. Just you want to say both I want to combine. So you say list A dot add all element of list B. And in this way you can reduce all the data, instead of let's say just even and just out here is out. And you notice that our reduce function are returning the array list. This will returns your list of value, right? So here reduce function is very flashy. Let's see, I want to return the your not a list, I want to set, or you want to map, or you want to anything. Let's say I want to return the set. So here same kind of logic you have to write. Instead of array list, you say I want to hash set, new hash set of integer. Okay, and you want to return all the hash set. You are getting the hash set. Your reduce function is return your hash set, and you get the hash set have a same function like list of element. So the reduce function, what the value they are returning is depend upon your identifier. If your identifier, your first parameter, you have to specify what reduce function are returning. If you look the syntax, this whatever the identifier you pass, the return type should be u. So here you pass as a some integer, so they return integer. If here you pass the array list, this will return array list. If you pass hash set, this will return hash set. So if you notice, whenever you start initially this reduce function, we are not pass initially anything. So they returns optional of element. You are not specify what is the identity function. So this will return optional. So you are getting result optional and then gateway. But whenever you pass when you pass identity function you pass, like here you pass the 0. 0 is the integer, so your return type should be integer. So reduce function, what the value they return depend upon the identifier. What the identity function you pass. If your identity function pass in integer number, the return type is integer. If you pass identity function as a array list, they return array list. You want to set, hash set, anything you can return. So reduce function is so flexible. Whatever you want, you can write here, and it will work. Your input depend upon input, they return the output. If you pass the array list here, they return array list. If you pass here total integer number, they return integer number. Right? So even you can return the hash map, or you can return anything. So let us see. We have another like a list of strings, like a list of strings. Maybe a list of strings. This is the 1, this is the 2, and this is the 3. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6. This is a 7, and this is a 8. This is a 9. This is a let's 10. Let's see, we have a strings, and this in strings I want just like a string, and just I want to all the string with length or just I want to reduce, and in reduce I want this method return all the strings with a length. The key will be the string, and but I want to return the like your map. So here what you can say in first parameter, say I want to return new hash map, and the key should be your first key should be the number string, and second I want to length is integer. And similarly, so you have a binary function, first parameter your hash map hash map simply say map, and next your strings, whatever is string you pass a string, and here you have to apply like let's return your map, and next parameter would be you are getting map 1 comma map 2, and you will return let's map 1. So in this way, what you're trying to say in the map 1, whatever you are going to say, I am say map 1 dot put, and the key should be your string str, and your here str dot just length. So reduce function, what you want to reduce, what you want to return. Now I want all the strings, just take a, you are getting just like a here. No, you are getting the map, that string contain your number, and the length will be the value. So reduce function have a lots of use case. This is designed so flexible, whatever you want to return. Now you getting reduce 9 have a 4 length, 6 have a 3 4, or even you want to filter I want to all the greater than 3. You can see you have to let's here. Let's see, I want to filter all the string which is dot length greater than 3. Maybe I want to just map to string to uppercase, whatever the string say, string dot to string to uppercase. So whatever operations you now you are getting the map that will return all the strings which length is greater than 3 and in uppercase. So in uppercase. So this reduce function is very handy, but you are writing this code, it will initially take lots of effort, lots of complexity how you to understood this function, identity function, accumulator function and combiner function. So this lots of way, but the as per the Java designers, they have implemented this reduce function. This is so complex. Initially, developer might be not uh, so easy to write this code. So Java designers have replaced the very easiest method of the reduce. You can, if you want to return the list. So in Java, let us here you say here. Okay. So let us you want to return uh, to array list. Yeah, to list. So Java 16 onward, you have a method like a to list, flat it, and you are getting the complete simplified version. So if you want your reduce function to reduce the list, instead of using reduce, why not using the to list method? And this will return all the list which length greater than and to uppercase. So this is very handy. So Java recommend you can use the specialized functions which they offer. You are getting the all the which is the greater than length. Even you want to not a list, I want to return the all the array itself. So you can say I want like this dot to array, and you can specify which array string of array I want like, and you can get the array of strings, and you are just arrays dot to array and your strings too, and you can you are just reducing all the required condition with a primitive array, and you are getting the array of values. Arrays of value of a string 2. So if whatever the sum, these are the two lists or two set, these are the specialized functions that are you are getting from Java 16. If you are using the Java 16, then you can get this benefit to list. If you are using the older version, I am using Java 17, so I am able to use this. But might be for using to list, you have to update your Java 16. Or instead of this specialized function, Java both are this is supported from the since 17. But these are the in Java 8 you have only reduce function. You have to work in this way. But Java again try to avoid developer use reduce. You have to another method if you want to your let's you want to return all the even numbers, okay, numbers dot stream, and just you want to filter and all the element greater than equal to 2 equal to 0, and you want to list of all the value. So instead of reduce function, you use the collect function. And collect have a toList method that is a very handy. NS out, collect out. You can get all the hurdle of reduce function in the simple collector.toList, and this will return the list. So problem is that why, what is the difference between this list and this list? So please be note that this collect functions, whatever you are getting, you can add some element. This is the normal your array list. You can add any number like a 13 here and 13 here, and you notice that you can get the collect your this collect can be modified. So the collect or dot to list method returns simple array list, and here you can add something. Here you can add 13, but you want know all the returns value should be unmodified. Anyone here this is you are returning all the even number, but in the even number you can add any odd number. So logically this is the violation. So preference way instead of returning to collect list, you can use the unmodified list map set anything, and this will the proper way. Okay, so whenever you can run it, it will print only even element, and it lets you try to add some value here. Yes, let's run it. It is getting proper value. Let's you try to add here dot add, and let's say I want to add odd number here. Okay, and let's you try to print it again, and you notice that you are getting unmodifiable list, and that will not allow. So general preference always return from a stream is the unsupported expression. So you cannot allow to add. So these are kind of some value if you are using the uh, like here Java 17, if you return the to list directly. Okay, this list also your this list also your unmodifiable. You can run in this list also you cannot add any element. So to list method of the Java 16 is so specialized, and even here you want to just like add something, add like integer like 1, add 13, and after that you want to just print it, you notice that this will not allow to add 13. So collector.toList by default return the modifiable list. You can modify, and this not allow. So here it will not allow. So these are the even this collector function offer lots of functions you can do, right? Even here let us we have a so light dot collect, and you can say collectors dot to list. Similarly you can say to set, they return the all the your set element. Okay, you are getting the your you are getting the set, even you can list. So the similarly here you can use the unmodifiable set. So, so here the collector offers the simplified version. You can use the reduce, but instead of writing so complex code, so typical code, why not use the simplified which Java offer you? So whenever from stream you want to return the list of value, you can use the collect, or you want to have a only list, you can use the to list. But there is Java 16. But your older version, then you have two options. You can use the collectors.to set to map. Okay, so even you can write like any collections you want to return. Maybe you can return the collector.collections, and here you can pass I want to return like a maybe new linked list, so you can get the return type from new linked list. So this collect functions have a very rich set of API. This collector class have implemented lots of simplified versions which you want to return. So please use maybe collect functions, or if you are using the Java 16, you can use the directly on the stream. You can just apply toList. The toList also one kind of specialized terminal operation that also return unmodifiable list. But the moral of the story is that we are studying reasoning. We have to know how reduce functions have implemented. So reduce functions have a three flavor. One reduce function, you just pass any binary operator to input and just want to plus it, and this will return your optional integer value and you can get value. So in this way, this is the simplified to reduce whatever you want to get element and submit. But I want to specify, I want to result the integer. So whatever the reduce overloaded method, you can say just pass the identity function, and whatever you want to do, you can get those numbers. So instead of here passing integer number, you are getting integer value directly, and whatever operation you want to do. Similarly, here in the parallel stream, you have to write the identity function, and then your accumulator, then your combiner. In the case of multiple threads, what each thread's result do? Each thread result you have to combine, and this overloaded method help to reduce function can returns anything from the reduce function. Can return array list, you are just specify array list, and whatever the here is specify the same first parameter. Even you can return like a hash set from the reduce function. Even you can return from reduce hash map. So has the first parameter, whatever you are specify as an identity, that would be the return types your reduce function, and whatever the reduce logic you have written, you can do. So these are the reduce function are very flexibly designed, and you know how we can use. So in short, whenever you are going to the map and reduce, this reduce function have a three overloaded function. So first just apply any binary operator, the accumulator, that will returns the optional value. Second overloaded method, you have to specify identity, whatever the identity. Here integer, so return type should be your integer. Here say 0, 0 means integer, you have to get in, and this is your binary operator which you want to perform, plus minus. In the case of parallel string, you have to also specify the combiner, and what the value they are returning, what the value they return, whatever the here identity you pass. If here you pass as a 0, that is integer, your reduce function return your integer as a data types. If you pass here array list, this will return the array list. Here if you pass the hash set, this will return hash set. Here you pass hash map, this will return hash map. So reduce function is so specialized and you can use. But Java recommend, if you can avoid to use this reduce function manually, you can use specialize the terminal operation like a collect. Just you have two set, you have two Java 16 two set, you have two array. But if you are using the older version, you can use the collect and collectors dot to set, a two list, a two map, on an unmodifiable list, unmodifiable set, unmodifiable map. So these are the specialized set of functions Java offer. So as a developer, we should know these list of flavor Java offer for us. If sometimes someone asks you how reduce function you can write, so until you don't you know, you can explain. So reduce function, simple a function, generally take one binary operations and do something, accumulate something, but return optional. but you want to know I want to return particular specific value integer. You have to pass the identity function. You say integer, accumulator will return integer. You want to know I want to return the array list, you pass the identity as array list, and you can just accumulator return the array list and combine the return the array list. So please we have to know how reduce function works, how kind of input they are expecting, how kind of output they are returning. For invoking using any reduce any function in Java, let's say I want to use the length function, size function, any function in Java. First you have to know what the function will take input and what the value they are returning. So if you are going to use a reduce function, you have to know what kind of input they are expecting and what kind of value they can return. So reduce function will take input a binary operator. Binary operator means you have to pass the two input and returns one value. So reduce function input is a binary function that will take two input and return one value. But this function has not written the optional value, optionals of v, whatever the value you have. But you want to specify I want to return type should be integer. So you have to use the overloaded method or pass here integer and your again binary function. Now your reduce function will return a specialized integer output of float or double. Even you can specify I want to return array list, I want to return hash map, I want to return to set. So you have to use the reduce overloaded method. So hope this will help you to use the list of reduce function. There is an overloaded method, three reduce function, one return optionality, another return specific t, and another return the anything which you want. But Java also offer the simplified version of reduce, that is a collect, a to set, a to array, a collector dot to set, to map, unmodified set, unmodified list. So these are the huge API collectors class offer. Just go through and explore. But you should know how reduce function also work. Sometimes you have to write the customized logic that help us to know. So hope this information will helpful you to get the better understanding about reduce function. From this note, I would like to say thank you for watching this video.